Hi everyone and welcome back to day 2 of Sri Lanka's largest international YouTubing and content creation conference organized by AIESEC in University of Sri Jayawardenepura. So as many of you already know, YouCon was planned to be held on the 3rd, 4th, 10th and 11th of December, out of which the 3rd, 4th and 10th of December will be held live via the AIESEC Sri Lanka Facebook and YouTube pages. So the main conference, which will be held on the 11th of December, will be held on Sunday in Colombo, where we invite all of you to stay tuned with us for more information about it. And before we move on to the session information, let's take this time to thank our valuable partners for YouCon 4.0. Our strategic partner for YouCon 4.0, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited, financial mentor, Ceylon Accelerate, lifestyle shopping partner, Moneta, bronze partner, Classic Global Student by Classic Travel, food partner, Maggie, hydration partner, American Premium Water, live streaming and studio partner, Eclipse Motion, official lifestyle media partner, Pulse, official radio partner, Red FM, official digital media partner, Findit.lk, and our official university media partner, Chapra Flames. And with that, before we move on to the session information, I'd like to make a little announcement on the official YouCon merch. So if you want to proudly be an owner of Sri Lanka's largest international YouTubing and content creation conferences merch, all you gotta do is click on the link that is pinned to the chat below to order yours for just 1,500 rupees. So I also want to highlight, guys, that we will be issuing only a limited number of stocks from our official YouCon merch. So if you want to make your order, do not wait up before you regret it. Just make your order now, because we will be closing orders soon. And with that, it has come to the session for today, which will be enhancing creator brand value with content creators and much interesting personalities such as Pissu, Kanna and Kamaj, Silva, moderated by Dehan Valihinda. So let's move on to the session in a while. So stay tuned to awaken the YouTuber in you.
Life moves faster than you can keep up with it. Unless you accelerate. Introducing the best salary solution in the market by Ceylon Bank, designed for the money-wise, smarter individual in you. And it all begins with one debit card. Become eligible for offers and discounts to pursue your higher education and get the coolest new gadgets and the trendiest lifestyle products. All this and more with a simplified solution that empowers you and unlocks your true potential. Definite cash rewards up to 200,000 rupees for your wedding, childbirth, birthdays, surgeries and many other significant moments in life. Accelerate your dreams and aspirations in life to transform your future.
Welcome to the new motor insurance operating system. Experience accurate claim assessment with incomparable trust. Comprehensive coverage with absolute protection. A super simple claim settlement process. Absolute convenience. Your motor insurance is now at your fingertips.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
Sure?
Bonus? Sure?
A bonus these days? Are you sure?
Sure. It's Sri Lanka's Sure Insurance, the largest bonus declaration of over 9,836 million rupees for life insurance policyholders, only from Sri Lanka Insurance. For more details, call 0112 357 357. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
So a very good afternoon to all the YouTube enthusiasts out there. I welcome you once again to YouCon 4.0, Sri Lanka's largest international YouTubing and content creation conference. I hope you and I, we all know the guest for today. And first, let me introduce our very first guest. So, this individual, I personally believe that he dominated the Sri Lankan YouTube industry all the way from Australia. And he started his content creation journey from short dubbing videos and then led the way to YouTube comedy content and reaction videos. And right now he has his own merchandise. So, homies, please welcome Pissu Kanna. Over to you.
Hi guys, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, Pissu Kanna, so how's it going? How are you over there?
Yeah, really good, bro. How are you?
Kanna, what can we expect from you in the near future as a fan of Pissu Kanna?
Sure. So I'm just planning to create a second channel where it's not going to be comedy related. I wanted to create a channel that's surrounding personal development and then my career as a brand developer. I wanted to teach what I'm learning on my job to Sri Lankans. So I'm creating a second channel where I'm going to be teaching all about personal development and creating brands and creating businesses and all this interesting stuff.
All right, that's okay. That's also awesome to hear. So, Kanna, so I hope you have the session ready, and it's over to you to conduct the session.
Awesome. So the title today of this session is how to enhance the creator brand value, which is a tricky question because there are so many ways that you can enhance your brand value. If you are a creator, if you're a YouTuber, I believe the purpose of this set of sessions with YouCon is to teach you how to become a YouTuber and how to build a sustainable career as a YouTuber. So I'm going to be conducting this session surrounding that principle. YouTuber, how do I enhance my brand value so I actually make money? I actually create an impact in other areas rather than my videos or the content that I'm creating, or how do I actually go out as somebody who made that impact in the world of creations. So there are so many people that we can look at who have enhanced their brand value. One of the people that I really love who has done it really well is Mr. Beast. I'm actually wearing one of his t-shirts at the moment. Why I wanted to wear this t-shirt and why I wanted to talk about Mr. Beast is because it's so impressive how he has enhanced his brand value across all his channels on YouTube, as well as he has gone beyond that and has created Mr. Beast Burgers. He has created his own merch line, and he's also collaborating with brands like Shopify, and I can't even think of some of the brands that he has collaborated with them. I can only assure you that those brands spend millions and millions of dollars to have him as the face of their brand. So how did he manage to do this? First of all, he actually had a really clear tunnel vision of what he wanted to become. So if you actually listen to his interviews on YouTube, you can understand that man is obsessed with YouTube. He just can't stop thinking about YouTube. That's all he knows. He doesn't know about world economy. He doesn't know about which president is doing what. He doesn't know about the Ukraine war. I mean, he probably knows about the surface level information about all of that, but about YouTube, he's obsessed with it. From the part where people click through to his video, how much of average view duration that he gets on his videos, and how does he keep people coming back to his channel. That's what he's obsessed on. So that is very interesting because you first have to have an obsession. You have to build a foundation on what you want to create and how you want to navigate through this. You create a for Pissu Kanna. I had a filter, and Pissu Kanna was this crazy person who doesn't have a touch on reality. He has a vivid imagination, and he finds the humor in everything. So that was the personality that I created around that. So you have to choose a target audience. You have to choose your demographic, what consider their age, gender, education, relationship status, income and profession, and then you have to find the desires and aspirations of your audience. What are their dreams, their goals, and what do they want from you, and also pain points and challenges. So I actually work for a person called Davey Fogarty. He's teaching e-commerce and e-commerce related business content on YouTube. So when we are researching on what kind of videos that we should be creating for Davey's channel, we always find the pain points of the audience. We find, okay, our audience is from 14 to 24 age group, and they are just leaving school and they're going to university. But do they actually like university? Maybe they are skeptical about joining a university and spending so much money on their higher education. So maybe that's a pain point that we want to talk about. So you want to find that pain point specifically of your target audience, and then you have to create an irresistible offer. As a creator, you have to create an offer that your audience won't resist. What I mean by that is, there are so many creators who came up with me when I created Pissu Kanna. I'm not gonna name any of them, but what they did was they just completely ripped off the content angle that I took, like having filters on faces, and the vivid imagination and all of that. They just ripped it, and they just offered that to the same audience that I was offering Pissu Kanna content to. But their content did not get as many views or as many engagement, only because they did not create an irresistible offer like I did. Because I first came in and I offered my audience, this is what you're getting, the humor and the comedy. It's different, it's with filters, TikTok, everything was new at that time. And then when they started doing the same thing, their offer wasn't as irresistible. So you always have to be original and always have to give something to the audience that they would value. And then you have to optimize your personal website. I'm just going to call it a website. It can be a YouTube page, it can be a Shopify page, it can be a WordPress website, it can be a Facebook page, it can be a TikTok page, but you have to optimize it. You have to have a professional logo. So this is where all the branding and the designing things are going to be merged with creating, enhancing your brand value. You have to have a professional logo, you have to have professional photography, clear call to action. If you want somebody to go and subscribe and like your channel, you have to mention that, because people are not going to just think, oh, this person is cool, I'm just gonna watch their content. But if you somewhere you put in, please subscribe and like this video if you want to see more, that person is at least 50% likely to subscribe and like your video because you asked them to. And also, if you're offering products or if you're offering services, you have to have information about what you're offering. You have to have free resources. As a YouTuber or a YouTube channel or TikTok channel, all your videos are free resources. But if there's something that's hiding behind, for example, let's say that you have a merch line and then you do a video content, but you don't finish that video content because you want to entice people to go to your website and purchase your merch. That is not good, only because you're not giving the free resource. You're just asking them to come to your website and purchase so that they can see the rest of the video. So you always have to give free resources. There's this book called Psychology of Persuasion by a guy called Robert Cialdini. So he actually mentions this. For you to get people to do something, you first have to offer them something. You first have to offer a free service or a free product, and then the people will be more likely to purchase or engage with what you want them to do. And then you have to have testimonials. You have to have other people commenting on your content and liking your content, and then other people would see that engagement and they are more likely to engage with your video as well. And then you have to have your value proposition. So on Pissu Kanna, Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, if you go and see, I mention my value proposition. I'm a Sri Lankan comedian. This is what I'm offering. This is what, if you go to Pissu Kanna website, you can see we are trying to find the fun in fashion. We have the most comfortable piece of clothing. We are a comfort wear brand. We use this kind of material. So you just have to define your value proposition so that people know what they are getting. And your story as well. People like to know who you are and where you're coming from. Even if it's a fictional character like Pissu Kanna, I've never revealed who I am publicly. I mean, I have on interviews or anything, but not on my own channel. But I always had a backstory, or at least something involving Pissu Kanna where people understand the timeline of things that are happening. And also you have to have your contact details, of course, your emails or your phone numbers or whatever, so that brands can contact you and they can collaborate with you, or people can let you know ways that you can improve your content. And then the next step would be you have to have a content strategy. You can't just go and do whatever. You know very well on YouTube, you can't just do a reaction, or you can't just do a vlog and then hope that it would go viral. You have to stick to a certain content strategy, and then people just get behind that. You can't have everybody watching your channel. That's impossible. That's never gonna happen. Like if you think, okay, I'm a comedian, I want to do a vlog as well as I want to do a reaction, I want to do a creative piece, I want to do a drama, that way I can get everybody to watch my channel. That's not gonna happen. You can only target a certain audience type or demographic, and then those people will keep on watching you if you are consistent with it. So that's why on my YouTube channel I wasn't consistent. That's on me. I was doing reaction videos, I was also doing creative pieces. So I saw what happened to my audience. Like they were confused. Okay, there's another character, he's doing reactions, and there's another creative piece. So I saw that gap. Some people like to watch reactions, and some people like to watch Pissu Kanna creative pieces. And I wish that I segregated those two into two channels. So I'm learning on my journey as well. So I'm just spilling everything to you so you can do better than me later. And also you have to have a visible strategy. For example, you have to go do interviews, and you have to do PR campaigns for yourself. You have to have a blog, you have to do public speaking like this one, and you're gonna have to have partnerships, and you're gonna collaborate with other creators, because you can't just expect people to get behind you by being by yourself. You have to go onto other people's platforms and make sure that those people see you as well, so they get behind your actions as well. And then that's the best way to build a community. So the next step is to build a community. You have to have people interacting with each other, share ideas and supporting each other, and reach out to you directly, which I have on my Discord. I have about, I think, close to 3,000 or 4,000 people just chatting away every day, and I'm asking them for content ideas. I ask them to give me videos to react on my YouTube videos. I give them free merchandise. They reach out to me personally. They DM me. I talk ideas with them, which is really cool. Having that community is the best part of being a creator, because that is your true wealth. So those are the steps in becoming a great creator, where you can enhance your brand value from there. Then so what can you do after that? You can create your own merch line. You can slap your brand onto a food chain. You can teach what you have learned on your creator journey. You can create an agency around what you have learned. So there's so many ways that you can enhance your brand value, but I'm just going to talk about my experience because I created my merch brand, and that's I can only speak from my experience because I don't know the other domains. I don't know what kind of steps that you need to take to build those other domains. Perhaps you can just Google or YouTube and learn, and Kamaj will be explaining as well. So how to create a merch brand? For that, I first build my foundation. I actually found my purpose with it. I really wanted to get into fashion since I was small. I loved creating fashion pieces. I loved looking at other brands like Gucci, Prada, Balenciaga. I love these brands of things that they come up with. And I also knew that fashion industry is $1 billion industry. And being in Sri Lanka supplying to Nike, Gap, all of these really reputable brands, I knew that I wanted to get into that industry. So that's why I started the merch brand. It just made sense for me. I loved everything about it. So first, I'm just going to give you very actionable steps. I'm not going to talk retrospectively. The best way to create a merch brand nowadays is to go on Shopify. I think Shopify has a 3-month trial period at the moment where you pay only $1 per month, and you can just create your store. If you want to create a merch brand, again, you have to find what kind of things that you want to create as merch. You can't just have your content on a t-shirt and then expect people to buy it if they don't if they are not really high like very high value loyal customers. If they resonate with your content and they love your content, then they will buy those t-shirts, but that's not a sustainable model, if you know what I mean. So I found that very early in my merch journey. I found that okay, people would buy my old t-shirt. I think we sold about 1,000 to 1,500 pieces, and then we thought, oh shit, like it's getting stagnant. Like people, okay, how many old t-shirts can we sell? And then what we did was we went to a couple of fashion designers and we got them to create a unique pattern. And then we sold that pattern. We did some samples, which is the relaxed tee. We had some pockets on the sides. It's a big t-shirt which girls can wear. And it fit really well to the environment in Sri Lanka as well, to humid, hot weather. And then we started selling it. We took some pictures. and people really loved it. And then we then started developing the pattern a little bit more. We started using different material. We started doing different stitching methods, and different packaging, different ways of promoting the product. And then we found, okay, this is our sweet spot. And then we just kept on banging at that sweet spot. As wrong as that sounds, that's business. That's how you have to, that's the journey that you have to take if you want to create something that goes viral and then enhance your brand value. And it really helped that I took those steps as a creator, building my foundation, finding my target audience, having a really concise brand guideline, what colors I'm using, what kind of assets that I'm using, fonts, everything I had solidified when I started my creative journey. So I used all of that on my website as well. And that really helped people understand, okay, Pissu Kanna has a creator channel. He also has started his merch brand. So maybe because I resonate really well with his channel, I also want to buy his merch because I'm curious on what kind of things that he has come up with. And that branding correlated, people could understand when they look at both, it belongs to the same unit. And that's very important. And after that, we just optimized the Shopify website. We had email campaigns running, we had ads running on Facebook. We started developing our conversion rate optimization on the website. There's so much that I can talk about developing a merch brand, especially on Shopify. There are apps that you can use. It's not a simple conversation that I can have within 20 minutes. Maybe I can do a different session on that later. But that's the way that I enhance my brand value, which you probably can take as well. And if you guys have any questions regarding that, I'm happy to help. And that's my session.
Thank you, Kanna, for that insightful session right there. So our next guest for the day. This individual, I'd say he has dominated the Canadian and the US sneaker industry with a very creative concept. Now, you might wonder why there's an entrepreneur inside a YouTube content creation conference, right? Now, this individual, he is also very successful in his YouTubing career and his content creation. I'd say sometimes he's a singer, an entrepreneur, a YouTuber, and also a proud Sri Lankan. So, Kamaj, how's it going over there?
Hey, Praneeth, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good as well. So, how's things over there? Is there anything we can expect in the near future from you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming up. Music-wise, I have about 10 releases like in the pipeline, just working on finalizing everything. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff coming up.
All right, that's so great to hear. First of all, I'd like to hear on how you started this content creation journey.
So my content creation journey is a little bit different to, I think, Kanna's and the other YouTubers of Sri Lanka, because before I came into the YouTube world, I think I built a business solely based on content. So I'm talking 2016, 2015, when paid ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, they were still around, but you could still build a brand without using those paid methods, totally by organic content and through influencer marketing. So I built a brand called Sneaker Tub in I think latter part of 2015 to 2016 when I started doing it full time, solely based on organic content, posting 4 or 5 times a day, and reaching that audience and making it and converting it into a proper business. So that's where my content creation journey originally started, though it wasn't on YouTube, it was on Instagram and a little bit on Facebook. Then I think I came to YouTube also for a purpose. So it wasn't because I wanted to create content. That's why I said it's a little different than others. So I wanted to promote a brand, which is this brand of hot sauce that I was planning to launch. I think this is, my memory is a little foggy, but I think this is 2018-ish. I started this thing, which is basically a ripoff of Hot Ones, called the Daya Show in Sri Lanka. So what I did was I ran a whole season of content, I think 12 episodes, without ever mentioning about an original brand coming up. So 12 episodes of just having celebrity guests and asking them questions, pretty much the same thing as Hot Ones. Blatant ripoff, obviously, but did it for a reason. So season 1 ended and people were wanting more. So while that was going on, I created a hot sauce brand and launched it in season 2. So without launching it right at the start of season 1, which obviously, like the first episode, you would get 3,000 views, whatever, right? It takes a little bit of time for that content to marinate and get in people's heads. So season 2, at the start of season 2, I launched the brand. So it was more of a purposeful entry into the content creation world, rather than me wanting to create content and coming into YouTube. So my journey is a little different. Pranit, you still there?
Introduce a brand to the consumer, because I really love that show. And yeah, the next question will be, so how do you define the core brand values of a product?
Of a product in the sense like of a product that's launched, or is it like content-wise?
A product maybe you're planning to launch or maybe launched, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. So I would say whatever brand or piece of content, or if you speak from a content creator's perspective, or if you look at a content creator on his individuality, or like what values he must possess, he or she might possess, I would say individuality or being different to others is the most important thing that I see in a brand. Because if you're building a brand as a content creator, and if you're doing what, for example, Kanna said that when he launched his platform, and when he launched Pissu Kanna, the character, it was very unique, and he said other people tried to rip it off, right? And without much success, those people didn't have much success like Kanna. So being true to yourself, being an individual with an approach to kind of promote their individuality without, I think it all goes back to like the intention of why you want to become a content creator, or the intention of why you want to create a brand. If it starts with money, just because someone, some other content creator puts up a picture of an i8 and says, "Thank you, YouTube." I think Iraj did that back in the day, and everyone came into the platform like rushed, like bees rushing towards honey to create like content, not even understanding what the platform is, not even understanding how the platform works, thinking that you could easily make money. That's not the right way to go. I think the intention of coming in. For me personally, I came in with a different intention of promoting a product, and I was pretty true to that. I didn't fake it, saying that I love to create content. I fell in love with content accidentally. So after I came into YouTube, like after I saw the community engagement, after I saw like people messaging me and letting me know how much they love the show, good and bad, right? A lot of negative stuff comes with content creation, but I think it's being true to yourself and being, if you really want to create content and if you really want to create a brand, come into YouTube or any other platform.
Nice to hear. And you mentioned before about Sneaker Tub. So I just have a small question about Sneaker Tub. So as a Sri Lankan, and Sneaker Tub is basically targeted for the Canadian and the US market. So
yeah.
As a Sri Lankan during the COVID-19 time and during those tough times, how did you manage to keep the consistency of your business?
So I think I acted a little different during COVID. When all the other brands cut down their ad budgets, I actually doubled it because the pay-per-clicks were cheaper. So we, during COVID from 2019 was the start of COVID to 2021, we grew 4x than what we were doing in revenue. Obviously, like came with heavy advertising and heavy marketing budgets, but I think I handled it a little different than other brands. So I dove head first in because I knew what was happening in the industry because I was reading, I did a bunch of research. So I knew that a lot of brands were scared, and pre-COVID, a lot of brands weren't on the internet. I would say like a lot of legacy brands, they were rushing to create e-commerce sites, and they were rushing to get online. Like if they had like retail stores, they try to put like all of the inventory online, but that I knew that would take a while, and I knew the pay-per-clicks were going to be lower on like Facebook and Instagram. So what I basically did was I doubled the ad budget, and we grew 4x. So I tackled it a little different than I would say other brands.
Small question. So I quite did some research on you before this interview, and I'd like to say that from what I learned about you, Kamaj Silva is actually a brand itself, right? So
if you say so.
I'm sorry?
I said, if you say so.
Yeah. So personally, I believe that you're actually a brand. And how did you maintain this attitude and the personality throughout these entire years?
I think, Pranit, I'm not maintaining any attitude or anything. It's just me. Like I'm being true to myself. Like even online, my persona is me. Like if you see my, a little different. Like I have a different persona for YouTube, different persona for, Facebook, different persona on Instagram. I play different parts, right? Like for example, on my Instagram, it's like all about fashion, like sneakers, a little bit of family mix in there and all that. I would say YouTube is like more YouTube. I run 2 channels. So when I say I run 2 channels, I don't consistently upload content. On my main channel, I upload music and a little bit of, COVID-19 pushed it a little bit back because I was creating like the Daya show was in Sri Lanka because we use Sri Lankan celebrities. So they're in Sri Lanka, so I have to shoot it in Sri Lanka. So that took a little bit of a toll on like that content creation journey. Then I got busy with other stuff and I couldn't go back. So hopefully planning to do season 3 next year with a bunch of bigger artists. But I would say I'm not maintaining any, like, I'm not purposefully making content to kind of, put out a different persona than I am. So if you see me engaging with people on like my Facebook page, like my verified, like official Facebook page, not my personal profile, I'm still myself. Like I laugh, joke, I post memes, I make fun of myself. And I think being true to who you are and being and not faking it carries a long way. And if that builds a brand and if that makes me a brand, it's it's all gravy, right? But the intention is not to maintain an attitude or maintain a certain persona. This is who I am. What you see is what you get.
Personally looking so much forward to the new season of the IS show. And also another small question, talking about your singing part of you, can we have a small insight on how it started?
So I used to play in bands even when I was in school. I went to St. Thomas's. We had like a band in school. Like even when I left after I went to like another private college, we had a band there. Like all of my friends, all of the friends we hung around with, I think you guys probably know Viresh Chika, like the lead guitarist of Daddy. So his brother was like one of my best friends. So we always had that musical background, but like professionally or semi-professionally, like putting out records, I think started in 2010. Also, like with a bunch of friends, Lahiru, Daddy, all of those guys, like we used to hang around all the time. And you know, they knew that I could sing to a certain extent, so play a little bit of guitar. So we released a song. Got played on like national radio, national TV, and all that. I think the journey started there, and now I think since during COVID, I actually like self taught myself to produce music, and so I've been doing all of my stuff. Like I've been doing my own melodies, doing most of my productions, and writing most of, I would say 90% of my lyrics if there's not a feature on the song, and it's like my music creation journey has changed a little bit since COVID, but yeah, I think what I'm putting out right now is like organic stuff that comes like actually through me without like other people writing and producing it for me. So I like my new music. Not to say that I don't like my old music, but yeah, I think that's how it started. It's everything's very organic. Everything's run with like how I feel or in my mood. If I'm making music, and if I'm in a little bit of a party poppy mood, like that's the music. If I'm like down and if I'm a little moody, like that's the kind of songs I create. So it depends.
We are all expecting quite new productions from you in the music industry as well. And
Thanks.
I have another question on an individual who has different brands in different regulation bodies. So you have you're working in US and Canada and then Sri Lanka. So how do you deal with these policies and regulations of these different regulation bodies when it comes to businesses?
I would say, Praneeth, like the stuff I actually handle, like clothing and footwear, the regulations are very minimal. But there are like there's certain like paperwork you got to take care of. But I think it all comes down to research and like knowing where you're going. I think it just comes with growth, and I've always when I start businesses, I'm very like emotional, and I start things like this. If I have an idea, like I quickly go create a logo, create a website, put it out there, and put some ad dollars behind it, and see how it goes. If it goes well, after 2 months, if it's not converting, and when I look at the data, if it's not performing well, just scrap that or change things a little. I think just regulations wise, there's a lot of less red tape in North America, I would say, than Sri Lanka, because, for example, if you go to register a company in Sri Lanka, it takes 6 months now. Last time I tried to do it took a couple of months, but here you can do it online within like probably under half an hour. I would say regulation wise, it's the information is available here, easily accessible here than in Sri Lanka. So just doing a bunch of research and making sure you stick to those guidelines, you're going to be fine.
Of your brand, so how are you planning to maintain these, and how did you maintain these in the long run?
I think the quality is what the brand owner or the brand controller deems it to be. So if you, for example, so we have a retail store called Milk Toronto, which is a Toronto-based retail store, but now we're actually fully online. We are planning to open up. So COVID shut one of the stores down, and we went fully online. We used to sell other people's products too, as a retailer, but now it's, I would say, 99% it's Milk turned into its own brand. So we have a contract with New Era, which is the biggest cat brand in the world. We do collaborations with them. We do stuff with the MLB, Major League Baseball, and we put out baseball hats, which is like a core product. I would say just sticking to your brand ethos and making sure that you don't skim out on your production quality or even your content quality, right? Like what you post, like if it's Instagram Reels or if it's TikToks or if it's Facebook marketing, whatever you do, just make sure you post as much as possible. I would say 5 times a day on, hopefully, I don't always do this, but this is, we say hakke මොකද දඩමස් තියාගෙන බර කියන්න එපා වගේ කතාවක් තමයි, but it's pretty much you have to post very constantly, and make sure your brand values that you set up right at the beginning of the brand doesn't go down with your growth. So you have to pay the same attention that you paid to your brand when you first started throughout the brand journey. And also innovation, changing things that are not working helps a lot. I mean, even Kanna can, if there's a Q&A, Kanna can talk about this too, because he created a brand, I think he created a clothing brand in Sri Lanka, which I think is very difficult. I've tried to do it a bunch of times, but I haven't like fully, 100% been committed to do it. But he's done amazing with his brand, from like the quality to production to the actual marketing part. Well, that's his job, right? That's Kanna's day job. So like kudos to him. He created a great brand. Maybe he has some insight on it too that we can bring up during the Q&A.
One last question on this session for you. So, do you have any advices for the upcoming creators and the upcoming YouTubers in this industry?
I mean, identify why you're coming onto the platform, which I mentioned earlier. If you're coming onto the platform purely to make money, money is important. Yes, like we create content, we need to see some kind of a return. But if you're purely coming in to make money, that's not the right way to go about it. I always say, if you have a talent outside of the content creation world, just bring that talent into the content creation world. If you're good at styling clothes, you see a bunch of girls like styling clothes, right? Bring it into YouTube, bring it into TikTok. If you can sing music, I see a lot of guys like creating short form musical content, bring it into YouTube. It's the mindset of the creator and how he or she is going to come to the platform and behave in that platform without abusing the platform is what's important. So if you really want to create content and if you really love creating content, come to the platform. But if you have ulterior motives, stay out of it, because there's a bunch of creators. I mean, it's a free world. Anyone can come in and create content. I'm not saying to stay out of it, but I think the intention is what's really important. So if you really like creating content and if you really like connecting with people, jump in.
Yes, and all right, so Kamaj, Silva, so thank you very much on that inspiring session. And yes, just like you said, it's all about loving what you're doing and bringing that into the content creation industry. So I think it's time for our Q&A session. So I invite our audience to drop comments on the comment box on any questions you have from these two individuals, and we are looking forward to really good questions out there. So yep, you can drop your comments on the comment box. And until then, I have a small question directed to Kanna. So like I asked Kamaj, what do you think, what are the advices you can give for the upcoming content creators and this upcoming young generation on this industry?
Well, I think Kamaj pretty much covered it. Well, just believing, just finding what your true purpose is, because you can just create a channel, you can create a YouTube channel, you can start a business, you can do anything thinking, oh, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna be successful with this, and my parents are gonna, be proud of me, my wife is gonna accept me. But all of those things are not gonna be sustainable enough for you to go on if you don't have a purpose. You need to find the purpose of whatever that you're doing. Like when I started Pissu, that was a really, really low point in my life where I lost my job. I didn't have any money. I was in Australia during the COVID times. I was locked up. And then I started thinking, this is, I always wanted to create videos. I always had this funny bone in me, and I always wanted to, create a video and create a creative video and put it out there. So I just took that first step, and I had my purpose set up right there. So I like to believe that's why it worked. I think I listen to a lot of podcasts on YouTube as well as on Spotify where people talk about setting a purpose when you become a creator or when you start a business. All those things that I mentioned earlier, your status, your acceptance from your parents, money, everything, just those are just byproducts of what you do. Those things will just follow you. But if you have a purpose, that would be motivating enough for you to go on every day. It's just like how you get into a competition with somebody because in spite, like for example, let's say your best friend started a business and he's doing really well, so you want to compete with him, you want to be better than him, and you start a business, but it's not going to be sustainable because you started a business because you wanted to beat your best friend, and then your best friend would just stop his business or get distracted or do something else, and then you're going to be thinking, oh, what am I doing now? Like I started because I want to compete with him and now I don't have a purpose. But if you have a purpose, then every morning you'll realize, oh, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I believe. I want to do this. I want to make sure that people love what I create. I want to make sure that I help somebody with this. I want to make sure that I bring a smile to somebody's face. That I think that's enough for you to like go on, be consistent with it.
Towards what you do. And we have a question from the audience. So how do you adjust your brand to match with the volatile market around you? So Kanna or Kamaj, either of you can take it, or even both can give an input on this.
Kanna start.
Okay, cool. Can you repeat the question, please? Volatile market. That is a bit noisy question, because like markets are always volatile, like it's constantly just going up and down. Well, the one thing that I did was to imitate a competitor. That was the easiest thing to do when I first started. When I first started, I read this book called Lean Startup. Maybe Kamaj has read that as well. Just how you can come up with all these different kinds of ideas, hoping that people would like your creation. But because the market is so volatile, market is so unpredictable, you don't know what people would purchase, you don't know what people would resonate with. The easiest thing would be, first, of course, to find your passion, of course, to find your purpose, and then find another person, another brand that's doing the same thing. And then you can just imitate. I'm not saying to rip off everything, but you can imitate really closely to what they're doing, because chances are that they have been split testing, they've been researching all these things for years and years, and they have so much of data which has brought them to that point, and they're doing millions of dollars with their product or the service that they're providing. Chances are, if you imitate what they're doing, you would land at least close to the audience that they are resonating with. And then once you start getting sales, and once you start getting more impressions, people themselves, the customers themselves, will tell you through reviews and by chatting with you on how to develop your angle, so you don't become the same brand as you were imitating. When I started the merch brand, I was really closely imitating another comfort wear brand, and that's how we started it. But now we are adjusting it to match the Sri Lankan audience better, because the brand that I was imitating is in Australia and Europe, and everything that they're doing, their messaging, their marketing angle, is to match that audience, whereas we have to match the Sri Lankan audience. Our wording, the way that we market our products, is very different to them now. But the formatting, the way that we started was very, very similar. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think like marketplaces are all, like Kanna mentioned, it's always volatile. Like there's something, right? Especially in Sri Lanka, like bomb blast, COVID, political unrest. Like you can't really plan a brand around it. It's just like you have to face it head on. That's what it is. And at that time, you have to, as a smart entrepreneur and as like a headstrong entrepreneur, you have to figure out. I can't believe we have gone again into entrepreneurship in a in a content creation session, but I think it's pretty important, as even as a content creator, to maximize your sources of revenue. Like obviously, things like Spotify now offer, like platforms like Spotify now offer a chance for you to sell your merchandise. So content creation, merchandising, entrepreneurship, everything ties together at some point. Even as a content creator, you are technically an entrepreneur, right? You're bringing in revenue, so technically you are a brand. So I think you can't plan around those things. So you just have to attack it head first and figure things out along the way. And it's a case by case situation in every different situation.
And also we have another question on, I'd like to give these to both of you this time as well. So any idea on how to increase my brand recognition?
You go first for this one.
Yeah. So I think increasing your brand recognition also ties back to what your audience wants. So if it's a good example of what Kanna is doing with like Davy's channel, right? Like a lot of you guys probably know he's the brains behind Davy Fagati's channel. I knew after I listened to one of his podcasts, because I was following Davy before, but I didn't know like you were behind the channel. So I was like mind blown at that point. It's doing research on basically what your audience wants and give your audience what they want. So for example, my whole Facebook content creation journey really ramped up pretty recently, because I've had this Facebook page for a while. I wasn't sure what I was doing with it. I was posting music there, I was posting like entrepreneur stuff there, but I didn't have a focus till, I would say, about July or August of this year. I didn't have focus. I was just posting random stuff. But then I was one day randomly, I cut up a clip from one of my podcasts, about a 3-minute clip, and I posted it, and the engagement was like through the roof. I'm like, okay, so this is what this audience, 4,000 audience that was around. I had like 3,500 followers maybe on Facebook. Maybe this is what they want. So the next day I posted another. The next day I posted another, and I saw like the views going up and the engagement going up. So I kept doing it for like a good, I would say, month, posting at least 3 times every day. And now from I would say August to December, the followers have gone up to 31,000. It's, and I didn't consistently do it for, probably did it consistently for 2 months, and then other things got in the way, because content creation is not my full-time job. I run 4 brands apart from this, and I'm like head of partnerships for another agency as well. So on the agency side, we tell our clients to do all of these things, though I don't personally follow my own advice. But it's, how we say in Sinhala, it's sapeksha. You have to try and find your audience, and try and find what your audience wants and needs. And sometimes it can take some time. So I think I always say it comes down to patience. And with patience, you can figure out anything.
Yeah, sure. Can you repeat the question for me again, please? Yeah. I think Kamaj really nailed that answer when he said how he found found that one asset that his audience resonated with. That's what you have to do if you want to increase your brand recognition, of course. Because if you think of it as, for example, say that you are one entity and there's audiences around you, and then you keep throwing this 1 rock, 2 rocks at the audience, and they don't really engage with it. And then you throw this 1 rock, and then it just spreads across all the people around you, or like at least to the audience that you want to get through to. And then if you just keep doing that, that audience will keep on resonating with you as well. It might go, I mean, it might decrease in engagement, it might go up, but it's just developing from that point is your job. But increasing brand recognition, you first have to recognize what do people resonate with, what do people want to see from me, what kind of things that they like to see. I actually didn't do this for a real long time when I started Pissu, because did they get okay? Sorry, I thought you got. I actually didn't do that when I first started Pissu. I was just putting on content, and then at some point I realized, oh shit, like there are analytics to everything. How on YouTube, if you go to the YouTube dashboard, you can see the average view duration, the CTR, and all of these metrics where YouTube wants you to understand, so that you know which content to put next, so you are not blindly just throwing things out. So yeah, the best way to increase your brand recognition is to first find what do people want to see from me, what do people want from me.
I haven't personally been penalized for anything, because my content, I think, is pretty safe. I think Kanna can speak probably more to that.
Yeah, I have been penalized from almost all socials. Only because I do those dubbing videos. I take a lot of random videos and I dub them. And yeah, I've been penalized from socials for those. That's why I haven't been able to like get verification badge either. Because they don't like there are certain flags that I have on my socials, so it's like we can't verify.
So even
I think so. I
Kanna,
think so.
do they penalize you for videos also? Because I thought that's fair use.
Yeah, that is fair use. That's not a problem.
Okay.
It's just those. Yeah.
Like when you guys use like SpongeBob clips and all those like putty meme Cali in the middle of like the reaction videos, what's the allowed amount of seconds to use that? Like there is a certain amount, right?
I think, yeah, that's a good question. I actually don't know that. Not the duration, but I've done that. Like I've tested it out. I think more than 3 or 4 seconds is not allowed, but I've done it for
Hmm.
like 1 2 seconds is allowed.
Right.
I think it's a
They
very
do
good.
it for cut it off
Yeah,
in different parts.
yeah. So
There's another question. I think this will be well answered by Kamaj. So can I know if you have automated the business, and if yes, how you did it?
Entrepreneur question again. Yes. So all my businesses except for one right now, which we very recently started, is automated. Everything runs through a 3PL. The only part that we manually handle is the content creation part. And also even the socials, the paid socials. Um, we have a software, AI software kind of handling the ads with human intervention. You can't give total control to the machines. I don't believe in giving total control to the machines. Nathan terminate again, so because of that, some human intervention is needed. But yes, almost everything, I would say 90% is automated. Picking and packing runs through a 3PL. Obviously, there are humans pick and pack, not robots yet. But I heard like Amazon is actually like using robots now, and like some 3PLs are like planning on getting robots. I don't know how near in the future we would see that, but I know a bunch of 3PLs in the US already use robots for like picking and packing. Because
This happening overseas, right?
yeah, I honestly don't know about which I am shameful to say. I haven't done any research into like Sri Lankan, how the Sri Lankan picking and packing industry works, because Kanna can probably speak more to that. How do you guys do you ship from Sri Lanka, Macha?
yeah. We only sell in Sri Lanka as well. So
Ah,
picking and packing happens in a house. It's not even a warehouse. It's just like
right,
it's a house.
right.
But we actually did a small research, as in because I work with Davy, I went to a 3PL here, managed by Australia Post. They don't have robots per se, but there are robots who are picking up
Mm,
these containers, and then they take to the conveyor line.
mm,
That's the only robot I saw in that 3PL. So we kind of found we kind of copied that format and then put up a really really Sri Lankan version of it in that house that we got in Sri Lanka. So yeah, it's like because you must
human robots la dalangavid.
yeah. Because as you know, in a 3PL, there's like a certain way that you have
Yeah,
to,
set up.
yeah, set up. Yeah, so we have done that. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and one last question. This is coming aside from the topic. So how did you guys stop being camera shy at first? So even right now, I'm looking at a camera and I feel a bit shy. So can you guys tell me on the first few days on like looking at a camera and speaking to it, how was it like?
For me, I think personally, I'm not shy usually. Like I'm the loud one, like the talkative one, the joker of the group. So I think for me, it didn't. Anyway, when there's like a camera in front of you, and if especially when someone's operating it, your body make තියෙනවා. But I think it didn't impact me that much. It's just for me, it's just like I was being myself. So yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, well, so I actually love the camera. I like to be in front of it and talk to people. That's my passion, as you might know. But mage, I'll just say this in Sinhalese. My mom says mage ladena hare kapala tiyenne kiyala. That's because when I was small, I still remember this incident very well. When I was small, our whole family we went to India. We went to like Tirupati or something, a very weird place, and I really wanted to take a shit, right? And I just got behind my dad and I took a shit in front of all the people. I still remember that. And at that moment, I realized I don't have a lachana. I just do whatever the fuck I want. Sorry for cursing on your session.
Lavai.
Yeah.
Right. The session. I'm
I think you're getting stuck.
I think you're getting cut.
So host you guys. And Kanna and Kamaj coming to being time for us to for that
Waking up, ne?
mention virtual session be a happening around our audience and conclude the session.
Volume
couldn't hear, but I think,
yeah. I think he's bidding us goodbye, right?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you very much.
It's a good
as well.
Thanks, Farid. We couldn't hear anything you
us.
said, but still can't hear.
All good. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Cool. Take care. Thanks, Kamaj. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Majak. We'll connect offline.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Life moves faster than you can keep up with it. Unless you accelerate. Introducing the best salary solution in the market by Ceylon Bank, designed for the money-wise, smarter individual in you. And it all begins with one debit card. Become eligible for offers and discounts to pursue your higher education and get the coolest new gadgets and the trendiest lifestyle products. All this and more with a simplified solution that empowers you and unlocks your true potential. Definite cash rewards up to 200,000 rupees for your wedding, childbirth, birthdays, surgeries, and many other significant moments in life. Accelerate your dreams and aspirations in life to transform your future.
To the new motor insurance operating system. Experience accurate claim assessment with incomparable trust. Comprehensive coverage with absolute protection. A super simple claim settlement process. Absolute convenience. Your motor insurance is now at your fingertips.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
Sure?
Bonus? Sure?
A bonus these days? Are you sure?
Sure. It's Sri Lanka's Sure Insurance, the largest bonus declaration of over 9,836 million rupees for life insurance policyholders. Only from Sri Lanka Insurance. For more details, call 0112 357 357. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
What is AIESEC? AIESEC is the world's largest international youth-run organization which functions with the objective of developing youth with their leadership abilities. We have been providing leadership activities as well as international internships and volunteering experiences for global youth. What is AIESEC in University of Sri Jayawardhanapura? AIESEC in University of Sri Jayawardhanapura has been giving opportunities for graduate youth to empower their skills and talents for a long time. We have been enhancing our local committee by providing high-quality experiences and services to our members and exchange participants. What is Outgoing Global Talent and Outgoing Global Teacher? In AIESEC, the Outgoing Global Talent and Outgoing Global Teacher are responsible for providing globally recognized internships for the youth to develop their future career. Our internships are offered in all fields ranging from engineering, IT-related opportunities like software development, software engineering, business-related opportunities like business administration, business development, marketing, language teaching, as well as subject teaching. What sort of benefits does it offer? All our opportunities are facilitated with more benefits like free accommodation, free food, free airport pickups, and also a dazzling monthly salary. Other than that, the intern gets a globally recognized certificate, gain a multicultural working experience, can expand their professional network, and most importantly, they can kickstart their career with a bunch of novel experiences. What is Outgoing Global Volunteer? The Global Volunteer Program of AIESEC provides a cross-cultural volunteering experience in different countries for youth from aged 18 to 30 with the motive of developing your leadership skills. Our volunteering projects are aligned with sustainable development goals, which allow you to contribute to a greater social impact in an environment out of your comfort zone in a period of 6 weeks. Free accommodation, free meals, airport pickup and departure support, international recognition as a global volunteer are some of the endless benefits you can get as a global volunteer. Your radiant future is calling you. Take the best move to start a new version of your life. Get in touch with AIESEC.